If you're an Indian or you live in India, I'm sure you've heard of the name DOLO. It's a pill. For some, DOLO 650 is synonymous with a painkiller. For some, it is a go-to medicine for fever. In several Indian households, paracetamol now means DOLO. How did this medicine become so popular? Apparently, through manipulation. The makers of DOLO have been accused of bribing doctors. That's what India's tax authority says. It says the makers of DOLO gave doctors freebies worth 1,000 crore rupees. 1,000 crore rupees, more than $125 million. It says medical practitioners were bribed so that they could prescribe DOLO to you. A body of medical representatives took this matter to India's top court. One of the judges said, "What you're saying is not music to my ears. This is exactly the drug that I had when I had COVID recently." I guess so did most of you. Indians consumed a record number of DOLO tablets during the pandemic, so much so that it was dubbed India's favorite snack. This medicine was launched in 1993. It soon became the #1 paracetamol 650 mg brand. DOLO maker Microlabs is based in Bangalore. It was selling around 7.5 crore strips of DOLO annually. But during the pandemic, the sales shot through the roof. Between the start of the pandemic and January this year, 2022, Indians bought 350 crore DOLO tablets, 350 crore. If you stack all of them up, the tower will be as tall as Burj Khalifa. So you understand the popularity of this drug in India. The company made some 567 crore rupees during the pandemic. Did other paracetamol tablets see a surge in sales? Well, they did, but nothing beat DOLO. In December 2021, for example, DOLO sales were up more than 61%. Calpol sales grew 56%. As the pandemic peaked, DOLO sales spiraled. Even though it was the more expensive one, it sold more. DOLO 650 costs 1.73 rupees a tablet. Compare that to the rest in this category. Why did people pick DOLO? Because doctors prescribed it. And now it appears that they were bribed to push for DOLO. We're talking about bribes worth 1,000 crore rupees. This is a very serious charge. It raises a much broader problem, the problem of pharma corruption. In February this year, 50 neurologists were found guilty of accepting sponsored trips from a pharma company. In June, an Indian pharma company was accused of bribing India's Drug Standard Control Authority, and now we have the case of DOLO. And call it what you will, but I don't find this surprising. It's something that's been very openly and obviously been happening in front of our very eyes, and we chose to ignore. We know that doctors prescribe medicines only from certain selected brands. Those medicines are usually available at stores linked to those doctors or in their vicinity. Private medical clinics have medical representatives walking in and out. None of this is illegal, but it does create enough room for manipulation. The Indian Medical Council has a code of conduct for doctors. This code prohibits the acceptance of gifts, entertainment, travel facilities, hospitality, cash or monetary grants from pharma companies. In February this year, India's Supreme Court told pharma companies that giving freebies to doctors in exchange for promoting the sale of a drug is quote-unquote expressly prohibited by law. But here's the problem. The law addresses pharma companies, not doctors. Here's another problem. While the Medical Council of India can punish doctors for accepting bribes or freebies, India's doctors' associations are beyond the MCI's jurisdiction. Also, it takes only 7 doctors to form an association, meaning what the Medical Council bars, an association can overrule. There are way too many loopholes in the system. And the result is this. Today, a doctor can prescribe you a medicine not because it's good for you, but because it profits a company. It helps meet their sales targets. Doctors can also prescribe you medicines you don't really need so that pharma company owners can become billionaires. Where does that leave your body? Where does that leave India's healthcare system? There's a solid case for the government to step in here, for India's parliament to make laws. A patient should know on what basis a medicine is being prescribed, and India needs laws against such medical malpractices. It is dangerous when a prescription that is meant to save your life becomes corrupt. Countries around the world have rules against such corruption. Some have criminal sanctions. Some have hefty fines on pharma companies. In 2019, Israel came up with a rule banning one-on-one meetings between doctors and pharma reps. In 2020, the US asked Swiss pharma company Novartis to pay $729 million. It was fined for kickbacks to doctors. In 2014, Israel's Teva Pharmaceuticals had to pay $27.6 million in settlements in the US. The company had bribed a Chicago-based doctor to promote its drugs. What is stopping India from cracking down on kickbacks? The world's pharmacy cannot afford to be rigged by pharma corruption, and the greed of some doctors cannot be allowed to taint the entire profession. In India, we say doctors are next to God. They save lives, and they do, most of them. But those who take bribes to prescribe medicines must be punished. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.